Hello, it's me, Pastor Leslie Bray Brewer, and I'm trying to not get run over in the road here. This is Walnut, Cove, North Carolina on Monday. So this is Monday's Miracle. Now normally, Monday's Miracle is something that we do where we tell you about a great miracle that's happened. Well, today is a little bit different. We're telling you about a miracle we need. So Monday's Miracle today, a miracle we need right here at the well. All right, follow me on over. This is our ministry house. You can see that this is a big old historic white house, and we call it the Well. Times of Refreshing Ministries is the name of our ministry. We were given this house in 2012. It needed a lot of renovation, so we didn't officially move in until August 2013. Now it looks like a big old house, right? However, you can only use the downstairs at this time, and one of the rooms is a bedroom. And then you got bathrooms and a kitchen. So we have just a smaller meeting room that holds about 15 people, and then we knocked out a wall between two other rooms to where we can fit maybe 40 people squished in. There are times for special services or things we do with children in the summer that we don't have room for everybody in that one room. We've had to put overflow before into the kitchen or the other meeting room that adjoins our big room. So we're out of space. Sometimes we're okay, but other times we're not. So what we've got to do is find a way to expand this ministry. I won't take you inside right now because people are in there praying, but I'll just sort of show you around the property. We own property all the way to that fence. More or less, close to the fence. You can see here that we have an outdoor stage we've built. We want to keep this property. We want a place where children can play and we can have outdoor concerts and outdoor programs on that stage, and people can sit on the lawn that sort of slopes down like a little amphitheater. So we want to keep that to be able to use for outdoor activities. Somebody asked me last week, Leslie, why don't you just try to build over here? Well, if we do that, we've used every bit of our property. There's no yard, there's nothing else, because our property on this side only goes to that light pole. You see that power pole? About there is where our property ends. So if we built in our grass over here, we're out of space. We have no green space, no place for outdoor activities. Our backyard's not real big either. So, right about here is where our property ends. And it sort of angles down, and you can see where there are vines in the backyard. When there's some junk cars there, or they may be good cars, I don't know, from the service station next door, the garage. So we don't have a whole lot of property. Even these big old pine trees beside me are not on our property. This is the town's property. Now what you see from where our property stops all the way to the road is what's called the old hotel property. Now there was a hotel here that was built in 1912 by Wesley Dodson. He also owned this white house, which we now call the Well. He owned, at one time these two properties were unified. It was one land parcel. He ran the hotel, but he died in the mid-1920s. When he did, his widow, Miss Dolly, tried to run the hotel for a while, but it was just too much, so she sold the hotel. She moved with her little girl Lois and her little boy into this house, which is one of the oldest houses in this town. When Lois died in 2011 at age 93, she had told us she wanted us to have this house to use for ministry. And we got the house, praise God, the Well. But this property had fallen into different hands through the years, ended up in the hands of the town of Walnut Cove. In 2013, early in the year 2013, we were told they were going to knock down the old Dodson Hotel. It had been vacant for years and was crumbling. They were going to knock it down. Let's go a little bit closer to that lot. They did knock the hotel down. I was fortunate enough, I was privileged, honored, blessed to be able to write the newspaper story telling what was going to happen to this hotel. You can still see the bricks there. Those are some of the bricks that came from the old hotel, again built in 1912 by Wesley Dodson. When they knocked the hotel down, they put the land up for sale in the hands of a realtor. It was, I think they were asking around $69,500, something like that, for the property. no takers. They had some bids in the 20,000s and the board would turn those down because that was way under market value. Market value was assessed at around 60,000, from 60 to 61,000. It came out of the hands of the realtor, now solely in the hands of the town. The town brought the price down to around $60,500 to ask for this property. I'm not even sure of the acreage of it, but you can just sort of get a look-see of it. Hotel stood right in the middle of it. It does face Main Street, so it's prime real estate, no doubt. But it's undeveloped. There's nothing there. You can't hook up to sewer and water. Well, before we even moved into the well in 2013, but we heard this hotel was coming down, we had a lady come to us, very spiritual lady. She said, I think you're supposed to pray about this land. I think this will be your property one day. It will adjoin the well, and your whole ministry complex will go to the road. Well, I put that on a shelf. You know, God had not told me, hey, this is your property. The hotel was still there at that time. Hotel came down. Suddenly, people started coming at different times. I'm going to say at least 6 or 7 different people came to me. They were not connected to each other. Most of them didn't even go here to this ministry, and said, have you prayed about that land next door? You really need to. I feel like that is supposed to be your land. Well, when you hear that from so many sources, you start to say there's probably something to this. And it would be ideal, no doubt, for us to expand here. Well, we just continued along. We didn't say anything to anybody. Remember, this was over 3 years ago that we began to think about this land, pray about this land, and really want this land. We don't even take up an offering most Sundays here. I'm trying to get better about that. In other words, we've saved what little we have over these 3 years that we could put toward this, but it's still not enough for what they want. About 2 months ago, a bid was put on this land. It was accepted on June 14th of this year. There was about a 2-month period. They had to run some tests. The bid was accepted by the town board, $30,000, which is half of the assessed market value. But the town said, hey, it's been on the market all this time, let's sell it. I understand that. They also want revenue for the town, so they wanted a business on this property. I understand that too. But we can't deny that we've wanted this property for 3 years. There's no hard feelings. Whoever gets the property, we're going to love everybody, be unified in this town, unity and agreement in this town, love of God. So there's not going to be any problems either way. However, we can't deny we do still want this land, because if not, we're going to be boxed in. If something is built here, it's going to come very close to our property with perhaps a little buffer zone, and then we're boxed in. Even our parking across the road, we had a verbal agreement with the DeHart family that we could use the old car wash for our parking, because we have no other parking for our church. But now we've been told that that could feasibly be leased out with the hotel property. That's not a certain thing yet, but that's what was told at the town meeting. So we're cut off unless we're able to get this property to expand. So to finish out the story, that's the background of it. We want this property. We are now raising money for this. We have until about July the 5th to put down an upset bid. We have to bid 10% more than they bid, so you know, it's still going to be in the low 30s. We want to put a beautiful, beautiful structure here, something that would be a welcoming place to the people who come into town. As soon as you wind up the hill there by the garage, that's the entryway to our town. So this property is like the gateway to our town, always has been. We want to put something here that would possibly even include a visitor center to Walnut Cove that could be open 24/7, where people could come into town, go in and get literature for all the town and the county, what's Hanging Rock, Martok Park, a lovely visitor center. I also really desire to see a prayer chapel there, 24/7, on the side of our bigger building, a 24/7 visitor center prayer chapel. There are other things we want to do inside the property. We want it to be a community gathering place, especially for youth who have nothing to do in this town. So we want there to be a beautiful structure to bless the community, more than anything to be built for the glory of God, that people who come there would feel refreshing, peace, joy, the love of God, whether they're there for a play, whether they're there for a concert, whether they're there for a church service, a youth activity, whatever they come there for. It would be where they could feel the presence of God in all His beauty and majesty. So that's the story of the old hotel lot and the well, and why we would love to have this property to expand onto. We would have a beautiful green space with gardens and flowing fountains. We even want streams with bridges somehow, man-made streams if we have to. Obviously, there's no water source. But we believe God can do great things here. So just, if you would, pray with us. If you feel so led, donate. Go to our website. You can just go to www.walnutcoverefreshing.com. We've got a PayPal button there. We are a 501c3 organization, so everything is tax exempt. And we would just urge you, pray with us. Help us trust God. Help us hear from God, because time is crucial for us now to be able to get a bid to put on this land to expand the ministry. Thank you for listening. Love you all. See you soon.